So check it out. I just arrived in Toronto and I will be looking forward to doing some training in West Downtown Toronto, Gracie Baja. Now, this is one of the perks of being a student here is that as I travel, I can continue to train, and as long as I have my handy dandy trusty visitor card, everything will be good to go. So today is November 11th, so I'm looking forward to getting some training in during the week. So Monday is going to be the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. But I figured let me make a vlog. One of the things that I wanted to share as something that I've been learning. And one of the key things here, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is vast. And like almost any other major art, you can get lost in it. And however, how do you, at least for what I've reflected upon, is how do you maintain sanity? How do you continue your progress in the art of jiu-jitsu while still being able to, keep up and not being so focused? And the key thing here is a concept known as principles over technique. Now, technique is great. Now, the thing is, you need both. You need to understand the principles, you need to understand the technique. But if you're running around on the ground in terms of, hey, technique 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 1,000, you can keep going with the techniques. But if you don't follow principles and you don't apply techniques, then your techniques themselves will be lost. And something as simple as this, right? The common saying in jiu-jitsu is like position over submission. You can't try to submit somebody if you don't have the superior position to be able to do that. At the same time, another idea is that you want to go for a choke over a joint lock, i.e. like an arm bar is not, rather a choke or a strangle is superior to an arm bar, because that same principle applied in this topic of self-defense, or in the context of self-defense. You're able to deal, or rather it's easier to deal with an aggressor that is knocked out versus to deal with an aggressor that is injured but doped up on whatever. Another thing has to do with, in terms of just understanding that if you find yourself in a bad position, that there are a lot of different things that went wrong, and in fact you have to kind of trace back. And that's one of the things I like about jiu-jitsu, is that it allows you to continue to train at full intensity, and which something is unique to jiu-jitsu, because many other martial arts, they don't give you that opportunity. Even Japanese jiu-jitsu today, rarely do they spar. And in other places, when they do spar, you can't go at the full intensity because of the fact that there's a lot of striking. Now, there are ways around that in terms of specialized kind of gear. And there's like from Tony Blauer, he's got some of the spear gear. I think it's called the spear gear. But essentially, it's a means to be able to test yourself and pressure test. But one of the things is that you don't need a lot to pressure test the technique that you've learned, and the fact that it can be applicable in the context of self-defense as needed, so long as you understand the order of operations, so to speak, when it comes to principles over technique and so on, transitioning from what is the order of operations to transition from a negative situation to a positive one. So these are all different things that I've learned. But that's kind of the key thing here. Principles are the high-level thinking, strategic mindset that you go in, just like in a game of chess. There's principles that you want to follow, but then there's tactics that you can apply on the ground, the technique. If you're really good at executing the technique, that's going to be great. But if they're not guided by principles, then you might get lost.